Hello there, ladies and gentlespoons. Welcome to Emerge Elite. First and foremost, thank you for even taking a second to watch this, even though I'm probably saying this now and people have already clicked off this podcast. Probably thinking, who the hell is this girl? What does she want? And what is she trying to sell me? Or even, look, it's another person on the internet trying to be all that. Sadly for the people who have already left, I'm not that girl. My name is Emily Topping. I am, in fact, funnily enough, the founder and CEO, or whatever title you want to put on this, of Emerge Elite, and I'm here to welcome you to this channel. Emerge Elite was an idea in 2015. It became incorporated by the end of 2016, and very, very soon becomes a massive reality in 2017. In the beginning, it was just going to be a fitness community made up of blogs and podcasts and guides to working out and a healthier lifestyle. Then I was able to get my creative juices flowing and build the brand even further, where we are now lucky enough to be releasing a clothing line, but also keeping very true to our initial slogan, which is to the next level. Now, kind of know what you're already thinking. Why does buying a t-shirt or a snapback or any other product mean that I'm suddenly going to go up a level in my fitness? Frankly, it doesn't. If we were able to produce a product that automatically gave you what you wanted, wouldn't we all be happier right now? It's basically what you do in that t-shirt or any other product that you buy from us. It's a community that you're going to be a part of. My biggest passion in life is helping people. I've filmed, took photography and designed for people for many years, and the sense of fulfillment I get when someone is so genuinely grateful that I help them is second to none, and nothing to this day has been that feeling for me. I'm not someone who is here releasing a fitness brand and hasn't been on my own fitness journey. I have. When I was a very young teenager, I was very big in fitness and playing football and basketball and any other sport. I was a very active child. Then in my later teens, I grew wider than taller and got quite overweight because I got lazy. And when that realization came to me that happened, I slimmed down and became a size 8 fitness model by the age of 23. And now I'm currently sitting at around size 10, 140, I think, pounds at 25.
So I feel like after that I need to reintroduce myself. I found that audio while I was planning this docu-series and I had to add it in because that was in May 2017. The company only launched in July 2017, so that was 2 months before anything came into fruition. I'm definitely not that person anymore, and that audio at the beginning solidified why I want to do this. There's a lot of people that I know now that don't really know anything to do with my business background, company background. They definitely see the person that I am today, which is amazing, but they don't see where I came from, and I like to keep authenticity. I like to keep my channels open and honest to everyone. A main thing that in that audio that made me feel like I was like, yeah, no, this is... You didn't lose yourself in business, because I still think my biggest passion is helping people. The difference is now I just do it on bigger scales. You know, I'm 30 now. I just turned 30, and even to the point that I even think my voice has changed. I don't feel like that person anymore that was in that audio. I'm definitely not 140 pounds anymore. I'm more like 160. I'm not a fitness model. But that Emily from 4 years back didn't have a business. I had a incorporated business, but I didn't know business. At that point, that was me trying to do marketing. That was me trying to do a marketing plan, trying to get people's attention, learning it all. I remember at that period of my life, I literally spent my head in books and on the internet and Googling things all of the time. I literally didn't do anything else except train and figure out what the fuck I was doing, to put it in a nice way. Now it's different. I'm still the same in the retrospect of my tenacity and drive is still the same. But I'm just different. I mean, you're going to find out through this docu-series a lot of changes. I think even when we go back on YouTube videos and audio clips and previous work, you're probably going to see those changes. Which is cool and nerve-wracking at the same time. So the company was incorporated in 2016, November 2016. I used to have a blog and it was called Topping with the Cake, and I had that between the ages of like 22 to about 24. It's where I made a lot of significant changes in my life. I was the definition of skinny fat. I convinced myself I was overweight, so I got into the gym to get rid of it. The only problem with doing something like that is I have quite an addictive personality, and I went completely in the other direction, to the point of where I had to sit down with a doctor and they said, if you carry on, you're going to be anorexic. The lowest I ever weighed was 58 kilograms, and that was when I decided I had to make a change. I was putting all of this content out on social media and on this blog where I had a significant audience, and I was lying to them. I was living off 2 rice cakes and a coffee a day and doing about 3 hours of cardio a day and telling people that I wasn't doing that I was eating salads and protein and all this stuff. And it wasn't true. I was lying to people, and that's where like this whole, I think my own internal monologue consistently says that my passion is to help people, and it was the time where I wasn't helping anyone and I wasn't even helping myself, so it was a destructive path that I went down on. So I deleted it. One day I logged on and I just deleted it because I was reading through comments, and time again people would tell me how amazing I was, and I hate that. I hate it to this day. And that's not trying to be egotistical or something. I don't like people telling me that I'm good. Not because it doesn't mean that it's true, it's just in turn it reflects back to there, and I'm just like, no, it's cool, I appreciate it, but just don't say it. So as we got incorporated in 2016, we didn't really start doing anything until February 2017. That was when we got quotations in, you know, my ex-partner worked in promotional merchandising. So to be totally honest, hands down, I will have to say that I don't think this company would have come about this way if it hadn't been for her involvement. She knew what she was doing. I didn't. I was 25 years old. I was 25 years old. I was ambitious, I was driven, I had about £400 in a bank account and about £1,000 in savings. I was working 60 hours a week for 12.5k a year. My entire life had been around working. My entire adult life had been around working. I didn't know how to do anything else. So I could do the work, but I wasn't smart enough for the backlog of stuff, which was, you know, sorting out spreadsheets, finding out cost per units. That wasn't my cup of tea. That was definitely something that she did and I didn't. But we got into looking into actual clothing, and I remember being like, I can't afford this. Even the t-shirts alone, to get 100 t-shirts was going to cost me £600, just under £600. And I was like, I can't afford that. I was like, I can't. And then the snapbacks were going to be like 210 for 50. So in total, it was still less than £1,000, but I was like, I don't have that money. £1,000 was like an entire month's salary at this point. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. We did end up doing it. When did it? We actually purchased the order. We purchased the order on the 3rd of April 2017. and in total it cost me £1,165.50. That's what it cost me. 100 t-shirts, 50 snapbacks. During this time I'd not even started marketing. We had opened up a social media page and done things like that, but we hadn't really done anything. And I think that was probably the worst thing that I did, was not tell people what I was doing as I was doing it. So the company launched in July 2017. So we've just gone past our 4-year anniversary. I want to say, I mean, it's October now, but you know what I mean. On launch day, we sold 7 t-shirts, I think. We sold 7 t-shirts on the first day. And then I think it took about 3 months before we made another sale. I expected the business to flourish on its own without any work. Which you probably think, how is that physically possible? Because at this time I was vlogging every week, I was on social media, I wasn't very good at it, not gonna lie. So another small mistake that I made when I started up the company was that I tried to run before I could walk. So at this point, the t-shirts were selling at £20 and I think I'd made about 240 quid. I hadn't made a lot of money off the t-shirts, considering I'd put nearly £1,200 down on it. And then I was already looking into the next thing to do, which was hoodies. I really wanted to do hoodies because it was going to get into colder seasons, thought it was a smart idea. The hoodies ended up costing me about £700, which again, that was more money that I did not have to put into. So at this point I was looking at, you know, I'd put £2,000 into it, I'd made less than 300 by the end of 2017. This was when I sat there and I was like, well, what am I doing wrong? Like, what am I doing wrong in this situation? Because I'm talking to everyone, I'm doing this. I'd learned photography at this point myself because I couldn't afford a photographer. So it was cheaper for me to buy a semi-decent camera and do it myself. So that's what I did. I think it cost me £350 tops. So I did that and started learning photography. Now, a big turning point for us between July 2017 and July 2018 was the photography became such a big thing. I would walk around my local gym at the time and legit walk up to half decent men and women who looked in shape and just said, hey, if I put you in this t-shirt, I'll take free photos of you. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, this was the point where like all of my photos are either super heavy on saturation and contrast and stuff, and they just don't look that great compared to what I do now. But it was one way for me to get out there, and in that section of time we didn't make any money. We literally, I think I gave away probably about 20 t-shirts and 20 snapbacks just to get people in them. We'd made like maybe £500. So I only had to declare £500 in taxes, which is nothing. But also FYI, when you declare taxes, pay the taxes, because I didn't for the entire first year. And I think by the end of it, I got a lump sum of about £450, £500 in fines. So don't do what I did, because it hurts. Just pay your fucking taxes. But yeah, so in that period, I learned how to do marketing in a very old school way, which I think has worked in my favour now. But back then I was just like, I just need people to know who I am. I was like, I know what I'm doing because this idea in my head is amazing, but no one fucking knows about it. And I'm trying really hard and no one knows about it. So by trying really hard, I was doing weekly vlogs of me going around wearing the t-shirts, talking to a camera, my own fitness stuff as well. But I wasn't doing anything with it. I wasn't talking to other people. I wasn't interacting with other people. I literally thought that I could put my content on the internet and it would do fine on its own. That doesn't work. So then I went into a period of where I literally would walk up to anyone and just be like, hey, I have a camera, you look good, wear the t-shirt, I'll take pictures, bish bash bosh. I started doing that for a really long period of time before someone actually turned around to me in the gym and was like, you should be charging for what you're doing. Like, regardless of whether you're putting them in your t-shirt or not, you should be charging them for what you're doing. Now, at this point, I was still making not a lot of money, and I was making no money on the side except for if I did make any sales. So it was really difficult for me to even contemplate looking into advertisements because I didn't have any cash flow. And this guy was like, you should be charging for this. And I was like, yeah, but what do I charge? I'm an amateur. I don't know what I'm doing. This isn't great. You know, like, you know, I'm kind of, the reason I'm taking your photo is so I can get the photos. I was like, you know, why should you pay for that? And they were like, because they're still getting photos from it. So my first ever photo shoot that was paid was for £50. I used to do £50 per shoot. That man's comment was a massive turning point for the company because now we had cash flow. Now I was walking into gyms saying, for 50 quid, I'll be with you for an hour, I could take all these photos. And honest to God, people would get like 100, 150 photos. Like, I would send over everything. Even if it was a terrible photo, you got it. And we started doing things like that. So at this point, you know, I'd spent about £2,000. I had 500 revenue come in that year, and then I was fined 500, so we were still on zero. But now that I was doing photo shoots for 50 quid, every time I was getting paid that 50 quid, it was going straight into another account for Emerge Elite. That helped me out a lot in a very short period of time because it gave me a kick up the arse that I could make money. It might not necessarily be with Emerge Elite, but I could make money. So what I did with that money is I started investing into myself and the company. So we invested in better packaging, better graphics, you know, like I like paid someone to help me build out a website because the first website was not great. You know, all that money kind of helped. So it's a great thing to know at this point that even though I don't know how long you have known me for, I don't know, but a lot of people now see me as the photographer, as the videographer, social media marketer, and clothing business person. So there's a lot of things that people see me for now. But back in 2017, 2018, I was the kid who didn't have a freaking idea about anything. It's also good to point out at this point that in 2018, I discovered a hernia, umbilical hernia that required surgery, which very much stopped everything, fitness-wise. Because a lot of people that were investing in me were in gyms, they were people that I was around, and they were seeing what I was doing. You know, like they knew that I was a fitness person, so it felt kind of like, you know, well, fitness person has a fitness brand, that makes sense. Obviously when I had to give it up, kind of put a spanner in the works. I was in the middle of a bodybuilding prep. I was rather small, there is a lot of footage about that. But that's going to come about in another episode. This was literally just to lay down of like how I started the company, the money that was in it in the beginning, and also how I generated cash flow without it coming from the business. There's a lot of people who are like, no, the business needs to make money. Sometimes you just need to make freaking money, okay, in order to expand. I didn't have a lot of money. I've not come from a background with a lot of money. You know, I've not come from a rich background. Everything that I have in this world right now, I've worked my ass off for. So I'm gonna leave you with this last clip, which was a YouTube video that I made at the end of 2018. It's not really Emerge Elite based, but it was very much, for me, it was something that was like, oh, okay, that's how my 2018 went, which you might look at it and think it's not that exciting, but 2018 wasn't exciting for me. You know, I did some things, moved some bits about, but in the grand scheme of things, 2018 was the year where we learned things. 2017 was when you got excited because, you know, I built a business and I was about to do these, you know, I had all these ideas in my head that were, you know, this business was going to be this, which it didn't turn out to be straight away. And then 2018 was working hard and implementing things and making mistakes. And yeah, enjoy this clip. Thank you very much for making it to the end of this episode. I know it was a long one. I'm not going to apologise because they're all going to be like this. And welcome to the Emerge Elite docu-series.
I don't want credit for shit. Like, there's a lot of people out there that can turn around to anyone and say that whatever they put out there inspired them and stuff. But if you took a step, if you took that advice and you took a step with it, kudos to you. 95% of people listen to this type of crap every single day and do nothing about it. So if you took a step and if you bettered your life from it, don't credit me for that. Don't credit me at all. Credit yourself. You did it. You did the work. So keep doing you, and next time thank yourself. Not me. Not anyone else. I'm not on prep anymore, and that friggin' pains me to say.
Just got up, something's wrong. I waited up with wounds on my feet. Where will you be? Flickering through memories, the Polaroids yellowed in the sun, longing to be seen. So come and hide with me, hide with me, hide with me. Come and hide with me, hide with me, hide with me. Bright.